Hey everybody, what's up? It's Hold the Truth Hostage, where if the truth was so important, we wouldn't negotiate with lies, we would hold the truth hostage. Now, this video is a video request by, the homie Vigo. You know, and if I say your name wrong, my apologies, man. But it's Vigo. Uh, and he requested this 7 months ago, man. But YouTube blocks a lot of my comments, man. YouTube blocks my comments, and YouTube blocks, comments from people that are subscribed. So, my apologies, but can't be helped. YouTube does this. As you know, they're blocking any level of truth. I mean, this is a company in America, freedom of speech, but YouTube doesn't agree with that. Anti-American company, but but pro-agenda though. It is what it is. But Vigo asked me a video. What he requested was, for me to make a video on the black swirling, black swirlers, you know, basically, black women that are seeking to be with, non-black men. Predominantly the swirl thing is about black women going after to be with white men, whatever. Now, I made a video that references this. You could look it up, called "Black Man Most Hated." It's a response to King Rich's, and I made a clip of it called "Chad vs Tyrone" or "Tyrone vs Chad." It's on the channel. Now, the reason I say you could look this one up is that I covered a side effect. There's a major side effect of swirling, which is very old. It's nothing new, really. I mean, but it being in the forefront is, I guess, new. Now, shout out to Vigo for asking for this, man. We don't get you know enough requests up here, but basically here it is. Now, what is the whole deal with swirling? The black women swirling, whatever. Well, I mean, the swirling thing is this. You see, it's a major side effect, and a lot of black women that are younger. Let's say black women that are millennials to Gen Z. Let's say about that. Let's say that point. Millennials to Gen Z. I think that's pretty much where it's probably pretty much where the black swirling effect is. Millennials and Gen Z, probably some Gen X here. But basically, the whole black swirling, effect and movement is, black women openly discussing why why they want to be with white men, and why it's a superior relationship than being with black men. But in actuality, and also, Vigo wanted me to cover why there's also, why black women are against black men actually dating non-black women as well. There's really a lot of this content going around, but it's to be expected, really. you know. But what happened is this, man, and I covered this also on a video called "Sad Black Woman," inspired by a channel called "Sad Black Woman." Now, what happened with Why is this black swirling thing such a huge thing? Well, what happened is this, man. With YouTube and the internet, you see, Oprah used to be the main voice of black women. She used to be the only way you could hear black women's voice and, a face to black women. But once you had YouTube come in, now any black woman could speak, it's freedom, whatever. Any black woman could speak. And what happened is you have more black women speaking up on the hope and aspiration of a relationship with a white man, you know, the swirling. Because what Oprah did is that Oprah covered one aspect of the deal with the white feminist. You know what I'm saying? I know YouTube's gonna block it. I just want to be clear, you know. But yeah, what Oprah did was she demonized black men. For over 20 years, she would say black men are the worst fathers, deadbeats. She would demonize black men. She would basically aid the white feminists by providing an image of black men nationally that they were, domestic terrorists and, basically a threat and not worthy or anything positive for the black community. When in actuality, black fathers are the most attentive fathers in America. Black fathers are the most attentive to their families, because what happened with slavery, one of the long-term effects of slavery that most will not speak about is the fact that since the black man was a slave and doesn't know much of his ancestry outside of America, the black man in America truly values his family moving forward, because that's all the black man knows in America is his family that lies from his creation. You know what I'm saying? From him creating a family to potentially, his grandparents, if he has any grandparents, his own father. So black men in America domestically will always value their family domestically over anything, because that's all they know. That, they can't exactly, go backwards, know where their family came from, which part of Africa, unless their family retains that knowledge, but most don't. Most black people, most black Americans don't know. Those of slave ancestry don't know their lineage. So a lot of black people, black men tend to focus and be predominantly focused on their family domestically, which is a positive and a negative. And I'll cover some of that as we move on. Now, the positive is that, black men tend to, when they have a family, they truly, value their family, because it's a point of creation, because black people in America have such slave ancestry. When they create a family, unlike other groups of people, for example, I'm Haitian. Unlike Africans, Nigerians, Jamaicans, other groups of Negroes that came here freely, that have family outside of the country and know their family outside, and tend to look, more overseas, to say, I have my family overseas, I got to get my family overseas here, or I have to, if I have a child here, bring that child overseas to unite with their family. Black men here, Negroes of slave ancestry here, don't have that option. They don't really have that option of, knowing their family outside of America. So the entire goal of black men is to mostly have a family here. That's why black men over here are, so focused, so domestically focused. And this is actually why you see a culture like hip hop and black culture, evolving, at such an extreme rate. Why black people in America are actually the most, the black man in America is the most influential man in the world when it comes to culture and, entertainment in general, because the black man is actually trying to make up for lost time. They're making up for the fact that they lost access to their natural culture in becoming slaves. So this is why this is why me personally, and I think a lot of black people should take offense to when they say, oh man, we don't have our own culture. Because black people have actually made their own culture in America, because they made up for the fact that they were slaves. That's why you see jazz, rap, rock, so many forms of music and culture are tied to the black man in America, because the black man, knowing of his slave ancestry, had to make his own culture based on freedom. So this is why you see so much, rapid evolution when it comes to black culture, the handshakes, the dancing, the dialect, they call slang whatever, but the dialect and how black men move in America is, it's extremely different than any other country, because black men are naturally trying to and creating their own culture, to make up for the fact that when they were slaves, they lost the majority of their ancestry and connection outside of America. So a lot of black men in America are basically, making up for that fact that they were slaves and didn't have access to their own culture. So a lot of black men have basically, if you look at historically, have made up for the fact that they were slaves, with creating their own culture, their own, their own swag, their own lane, their own dialect, cuisine, all that. There's so much the black man had to, create his own culture. You know what I'm saying? And, of course, when moving, the black man, the black man's, black woman inspired by the black man's mobility and cultural shift also adjusted their culture. See, the black man and the black woman were always culturally trying to make up for the lack of cultural knowledge of their ancestry by creating a new culture. Now, let's get to the swirling effect. Now, what happened, as I covered on the Sad Black Woman video, is what happened in millennial black women and Gen Z black women really don't understand, or they do understand, the side effects that happened. And the whole black swirling movement is, as I stated, you see, Oprah used to be the voice of, demonizing black men and, claiming black men are basically domestic terrorists and deadbeat dads, without her covering the fact that these black men were created by the choices of, the Gen X and, baby boomer black women. You know what I'm saying? What happened is in the 1950s, you know, the government, this is the same government that experimented on black men and black people with the Tuskegee experiment. The Tuskegee experiment, which gave black people openly gave them. I don't know why I keep forgetting the sickness they kept giving them, but I know it starts with an S, but I keep forgetting it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this is the same government that experimented with Tuskegee experiment, that burned Black Wall Street, that bombed and burned black communities. And what happened is in the 1950s, and here's the thing, you could say it started in sometime in the 1940s, but the government, the white government, and here's the thing, man, people that think I'm being racist when I, signal out a particular race. These people are basically, being people are basically living in denial. You know what I mean? The majority of people in the government, especially back then, were white, as they still are. So this is the same white government that burned, black communities, burned Black Wall Street, experimented on blacks with Tuskegee experiment, and later on, and I think it was the 1980s or 1990s, and they've been experimenting on blacks with Tuskegee since I think the 1800s, and they didn't admit it till the 1980s or something, or 1990s. You could look it up, when the government just said, "Oh, we're sorry." That's good enough. We're sorry, and we did it. We're sorry. But yes, they didn't do nothing. So what happened is the government came to the black women, and it came in multiple fronts. The government came with an offer: "We'll help you. We'll help you." And these are the black women, the baby boomers, baby boomers. The black baby boomers, the black women now baby boomers, and they came to them and said, "You know what? We'll offer you some help. We'll help you with we'll help you if you kick the father out." Think about this: the government, and at the time, like I said, the black family is the strongest family by the numbers. Percentages. The black family at the time was the strongest, healthiest family. I mean, it was going to be projected, if it continued at the process it was in, blacks right now would have been over 30% of the population. But, still at, below 15% now, blacks would have been over 30%. That's the projection. So what happened is the government came in two fronts. The government level, where the government told black women, and I think it started 1940s to 50s, the government came and said, "We'll help you out. We'll help you if you kick out the father. We'll give you some, government assistance." Same government that's providing, same government that's arresting black men, imprisoning black men, hanging them, promoting segregation. Same government. And the black women accepted it. The black women accepted this offer, the baby boomers. And, then you had Margaret Sanger come in with Planned Parenthood, which was designed to basically decrease the black population by placing abortion clinics in the black community. And like I said, the black women baby boomers openly accepted this, and you allow them to bring in death, before the white people bring in, justice and anti, an into segregation. You take abortion clinics, you know, take abortion clinics, and and basically now the black community is being attacked on multiple fronts, and the black community is the black men. You see, the black men are the black community because the men, a community without men to stand up for it and lead it isn't a community. As you can see, what we have now, where the black men are completely, you know, removed from their family structure. So now you have abortion clinics, you have the black women that are baby boomers taking the, assistance of the government on the condition that the black fathers are removed. Then you have them openly supporting abortion clinics from a white female, Margaret Sanger, brings abortion clinics, Planned Parenthood, I think, into the black community. So basically what you see is that the black women, the baby boomer black women accepted, the end of the black family. Notice the difference. When a black man was leading and, in control, the family expanded and only got stronger. Now, what the black women accepted was the destruction of the black family. The black women baby boomers and black women accepted also the abortion clinics. And think about that. Think about what that says. And at the time, you had the best black men ever, man. This was a generation of black men that were the greatest black male generation. They were black men that, not too far removed from slavery. They didn't have black gangs. They weren't gang leaders. They weren't drug dealers. For the most part, they weren't gang leaders. They didn't lead a nationwide gang. These were the best black men ever, man. This is why I say the modern black man doesn't exist, man. The modern black man was made extinct. He was wiped out before he could be and reach his true potential. These were black men from, that were still born around, 1940s. So, these black men were some of, if not the greatest, man. No thing about it. Just picture that, man. Just put that in your head. To my black men watching this, man, my black brothers and my Negro brothers watching this, and anybody else watching, just think about that. This is before there was black gang violence, man. Just think about that. These black men were pure, man. They were cream of the crop, man. Black men that did not know or did not associate with colors, gang colors, gang relations, man. These were some of the best, man. Some of the best, if not the best. They were the peak. They were the peak of black men in America, No gang association, no prison sentence, no singing about hustling drugs. Oh, man. These brothers were truly inspirational, man. And then They got the rug pulled right under. They got their feet cut off by their own black women that were baby boomers. And what happened at this time is just think about that. You accept abortion before you accept life. You know, the same government, you take abortion clinics before you tell this government, we will not accept anything other than justice, other than just representation and taxation. Oh man, just thinking about that. But what happens is this, man, and this is why you could see this is black swirling in effect, is that the black women, the baby boomer black women, the baby boomer black women sided with the white feminists, you know, and basically, convinced themselves, and this is why you see this is the highest level of delusion. A lot of black men today, talk about, oh, black women are delusional. Black women are delusional today. Nah. This ain't the peak of delusion. The peak of delusion was when a black, the baby boomer black women would walk with the white women feminists and actually think they were helping them fight for their rights, and that they could as black women lead to freedom and political representation and empowerment, when in reality the white women just march with them to get more attention and to actually prove that they could have these black women be their subordinates, because the white women were fighting for women rights, and this has to do with a lot of black issues today. So the black women, the baby boomer, and the reason I'm bringing up baby boomer is to basically point out to the black women that are, millennials and Gen Z, how long this has been going on, and how this shows whether they support the baby boomer black women or not, with their actions. So, and why black men basically are are separating themselves from black women. Now, what happened is the baby boomer black women marched with the white women, the white feminists, you know what I'm saying? And this is how you can see this is the swirling coming. Because a lot of black men think swirling is, oh man, they're choosing to, they openly talk about white men being better than black men, and they want to be with white men, you know what I'm saying, as a better option. No, man. Swirling starts once once they sided with the white women, they were swirling already, because swirling is, the black women seeking access to white men. How do you seek access to white men better than actually aligning yourself to white women who have more access to white men? So the black women were swirling long before it became, sexual, because it's a favoring thing. Once you favor one race over your own, that should be the, really the swirling. So the black women